Welcome to the OTech Talks podcast, where it's all about working on technologies. You will hear the latest tech information, and your host, Kashif Manzoor, brings together product overviews, how-tos, best practices, tips and tricks, and troubleshooting techniques.
Hi, this is Kashif Manzoor. Good morning and good evening based on your time zone. Thank you so much for giving me such a wonderful response on the earlier session and overall on podcast. I'm privileged to have your feedback and comments which are directly coming to me on the emails. I really appreciate the time you took to send me emails and your comments, and I will keep my best to keep sharing my learning with you guys. This is our 28th, I think, if I'm not mistaken, session. Or let me check which one is this session. Yes, this is 28th session of otechtalks.tv. Keep hearing your comments, feedback on the comment section in each of the podcast or blog. Today, I'm going to discuss the chatbot virtual assistants. So the topic is basically chatbot rudiments, the basics of chatbot, because nowadays every organization is talking on chatbots and it's a lot of stuff is going on. What is chatbots, how it works. So you can name it. This is a basic session to cover. It's like a chatbot 101 session where we talk on chatbot rudiments, types of chatbot. Then we will treat it like a conversational interface. What is that, or how it is named as chatbot as a conversational interface? And then what is the role of NLP, natural language processing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all that stuff, how this involved or behind chatbot. So first of all, I will share with you the Gartner prediction or the Gartner story, what they are saying chatbot use on the rise. And as per Gartner, the usage of chatbots called virtual customer assistants by Gartner will triple through 2019 as enterprises seek to increase customer satisfaction and reduce operating costs. Source is 7 decision points for success with virtual customer assistants, Gartner, July 26, 2016. So that's the comments from Gartner. Now let's visualize that you're traveling somewhere and you want to book a room, and you just open up your Facebook Messenger and then you hit into any hotel, Edwardian Hotels, London, or any other hotel, and you just started interacting through the Messenger, through the messages that can I get a room for today, tonight, and then it is just a chat interaction. A virtual assistant is helping you to get this transaction. If we'll compare with before these virtual assistants or the chatbots, we used to find a hotel and then we used to call a contact number and then we were calling them and then it was going in a queue and then someone will pick it up and then he will give us different options, and then so how this whole process is simplified. So that's based on that. That's just to give you one scenario. Now let's go into chatbot rudiments. It's named as sometime talkbot, chatterbot, or bot, or chatterbox, or artificial conversational entity. All that are the different flavors or names of the same. But as per Wikipedia, a chatbot, also known as talkbot, chatterbot, bot, chatterbox, artificial conversational entity, is a computer program which conducts a conversation via auditory or textual methods. So that's the basically definition from Wikipedia. Now we can further elaborate it that a chatbot is a service powered by rules and sometimes artificial intelligence that we interact with through a chat interface. And if we will more simplify it, we can say chatbot refers to a broad range of technologies that allow consumers to use a conversational interface to accomplish tasks. So you can visualize that a formal definition from Wikipedia to how we can simplify it, that it's basically it's a virtual assistant supported through artificial intelligence and machine learning. Now, a short brief history of chatbots, which I found from drift.com. 1950, the Turing test. Alan Turing theorized that a truly intelligent machine would be indistinguishable from a human during a text-only conversation. So Turing ideas helped lay groundwork for the chatbot revolutions. That's a 1950. Then in 1966, Eliza, the world's first chatbot, Eliza, could mimic the responses of a psychotherapist and for short spurts carry on convincingly human conversations. 1972, Perry. Then I'm not going into detail because these are the general information are available. And then 1988, Jabberwocky, and then 1995, Alice, artificial linguistic internet computer entity. Chat served as the inspiration for the 2013 film Her, in which human falls in love with a computer program. And in 2001, Smarter Child. So this is a short history on the chatbots. And even the chatterbot, this term was originally coined by Michael Maldin, creator of the first verbot Julia in 1994, to describe these conversational programs. This is again as per Wikipedia information. So today, chatbots are part of visual assistants such as Google Assistant and are accessed via many organizations' apps, website, and on instant messaging platforms like a Facebook, Messenger, and a number of other messengers. Now, examples of chatbots we can think of, like WeatherBot, get the weather whenever you ask. You just press on the WeatherBot, and then it will give you today's weather or whatever you want it. Similarly, a grocery bot, it can help us to pick out and order groceries for the week. Newsbot, and we can ask to tell us what's happening, what's something interesting, what's the today's news. And even later on, I will share with you how I interacted with the CNN chatbot, and I did one test on that how it is interacting with me. Like a CNN chatbot on Facebook, what I did is I just interacted through the Facebook, and it asked me, I asked, can you share the top stories? And then it shared me today's news. And then I asked, okay, can you share me the top news or today's news? Similarly, then I asked, okay, can you share some news on Oracle Corporation or news on Oracles? Then it just the visual assistant found some information on news on the Oracle, and then it shared with me. So this is an example of like a news chatbot. Similarly, personal finance bot, it helps manage money or any other transactions, and it can be when nowadays a lot of use cases are being discussed on the financial industry, especially on the banks. Similarly, there is another category or a type, life advice bot. It will tell it my problems and it help me think of solutions. Similarly, a scheduling bot, get me a meeting with someone on the support team at Oracle or any other, wherever you want it. So it can be like a scheduling assistant for you. Similarly, another one, a bot that's your friend, a bot that is your friend. This is another type. So in China, there's a bot called Xiaoic. I'm not sure I pronounce it properly, but it's Xiaoice, and that over 20 million people talk to that bot. So we can see that bots are created with a purpose. A retail store can, like maybe you want to create a bot that helps you purchase something, or wherever someone like services organization might create a bot that can answer customer support questions. So there is a purpose behind to create a chatbot or virtual assistant. Now, how do they engage with customers? So how they engage with the customers? So for that, the point one is you as a customer, or we need to start interacting with chatbot by sending it a message. And it can be two types, reactive and proactive. Reactive is customers can select chatbots from a menu or a button on a web page or in a mobile app. Other approaches can be chatbots or listeners, for example, Twitter, Facebook, or SMS that react to inquiries as customers enter these channels. So these are reactive. Now, proactive, intelligent chatbots can operate in real time and predict customer intentions, offering specific help when they detect that a customer may need assistance. For example, a client has visited several mortgage pages and pauses on a specific page, whereby the chatbot can proactively engage the client. So that's the two types of reactive and proactive. Now, how the chatbot works? Chatbots that functions is based on rules. So this is whatever the chatbot works on rules, this chatbot is very, very limited. So it can only respond to very specific commands. If you say the wrong thing, it doesn't know what you mean. And even the bot is only as smart as it's programmed to be. So that's why it's functions based on rules. So that's the first type of chatbots. Now, another is chatbot that functions or that operates using machine learning. So this bot has an artificial brain or artificial intelligence. You don't have to be very specific when you're talking to it, that you don't need to be typing a very specific or very correct sentence, but it understands language and even not just commands. And then this bot continuously gets smarter as it learns from conversation it has with people or with you. So it gets smarter based on the conversation, based on the chat, whatever it will have with the consumers. So that's the intelligent chatbot. So we can relate simple chatbot and intelligent chatbot. And now our today's topic is on the intelligent chatbot. Now, if we will broadly categorize our steps, how an intelligent chatbot works. It captures the data in real time, 1. Two, it uses internal data to transform, to read, to do machine learning. 3, combines data to predict customer intentions. 4, the chatbot develops with internal rules. 5, it's engage customers. 6, understand what is said or what is written. 7, formulates a response. 8, determines follow-up actions. So we can see these are the 8 steps of chatbot working. Now, what are the stages of chatbot maturity? It started from informational, understands natural language to provide answers to questions posted, and then personalized, presents user-specific responses by connecting to enterprise systems, and clarifies user intent using menus or simple questions. And then on the third stage, it is a transactional. Guide the users through a series of steps to complete a task, can also be a conversational, and can integrate customer data. So this chatbot maturity stages is coined by Your Best Agent as a chatbot by 24/7 Inc. So that's the company who tried it. It's informational, second stage personalized, third stage is transactional. And based on the chatbot maturity stages, it categorized into 3 stages of chatbot maturity framework. So it's starting from information provision to horizontal is engagement, and then on vertical side it's understanding, natural language, contextual. On the information provisioning and then the transactional, it starts with informational, where natural language maps the request to simple intent maps to the best response in the content database. So that's become informational. The stage 2 maturity framework is personalized, presents users specific responses by connecting to enterprise systems like backend systems. Personalized responses includes result from backend systems like any CRM system or any HCM or any financial system or even any banking systems. If we are asking, give me my detail on bank account, balance on my bank account. And even it clarifies user intent using menus or simple questions. Now, in the maturity framework, third stage is transactional, where it emulates human conversations and understands context to complete transactions, and even it executes transactions on behalf of user, handles complex intents, expedites resolution through proactive service. So that's again is a chatbot maturity framework. Now, what are the drivers for deploying enterprise chatbots? So these are 6 drivers behind that why enterprise should go with the chatbots. 1, changing customer expectations. 2, decreasing customer satisfaction on calling on the phone to a service industry or a bank. I'm giving an example. Today I was about to change my travel tickets, and then I called one airline, and it took me at 15 minutes, and then the agent was doing some changes, and then the line was dropped, and then I again called another time, and then someone else picked up, and then they started again from scratch. So this is the decreasing customer satisfaction, then losing sales. Definitely I was also fed up that from last 20-30 minutes I'm spending on just to change a simple airline ticket. Then increasing volume. So then I spoke to the agent. She said nowadays holidays times, that's why we're very busy. 5, reducing operating costs. 6, increasing visibility. So these are the 6 key areas we can see which are drivers for deploying enterprise chatbots. Another which I got from the Business Insider, current underlying chatbot technologies. That was another very good explanation on the Business Insider, that artificial intelligence, AI, that software program that allows the chatbot to learn appropriate responses based on the data it receives from databases or from customer interactions. So that's become artificial intelligence. So that's the first part. Software programs that allow the chatbot to learn appropriate responses based on the data it receives from databases or from customer interactions. Then this, based on this artificial intelligence, it goes into processes into two ways. One is machine learning. How it is a machine learning when a program is given to analyze to help it from context being pointed to the relevant aspect of the data to focus on. So that's the work of machine learning. And then another process is deep learning, a subcategory of machine learning, where when a program is given data to analyze to help it from context, but without being told what the relevant aspects of data are. So that's 2 processes, 2 aspects of machine learning, and deep learning gives us outcome into, we can say, into three stages. One, natural language processing. It's a program mimics human speech patterns to stimulate a human tone in a computer-human interactions. So that's the work of natural language processing. Predictive analytics, a program uses techniques including statistics, modeling, and data mining to generate information proactively rather than in response to. So that's a predictive analytics. Sentiment analysis, a program uses language analytics to determine an interlocutor attitude or emotional state in a given situation. So we see artificial intelligence into machine learning, deep learning, and then outcome will be a natural language processing, predictive analytics, sentiment analysis. So that's the underlying chatbot technology. Broadly, now there are 2 models which are referred again on the chatbots generation. One is retrieval based versus generative models. So this is again some details on retrieval based models are easier. It's use a proprietary or a repository of predefined responses and some kind of heuristic to pick an appropriate response based on the input and context. It could be a simple rule-based expression match or complex as an ensemble of machine learning classifiers, or these systems don't generate any new text. They just pick a response from a fixed asset. So retrieval-based. So it's a simple chatbot, which we earlier mentioned it. These generative models, harder, don't rely on predefined responses. They generate new responses from scratch. Generative models are typically based on machine translation techniques, but instead of translating from one language to another, we translate from an input to an output. That's a response. So again, this information is from the chatbotlife.com, ultimate guide to leverage NLP machine learning for your chatbot. And I will put all these references in the show notes. Then there is another open domain versus closed domain conversation framework is available. I will put in the show notes where you can understand how the closed domain, role-based or impossible or a general AI or a smart machine is this works, the chatbot conversation framework. Now there's another key matter why suddenly all the companies are talking on the chatbots. And then there was a research from, I think again from the Business Insider, that millennials don't use email, and then instead they use basically all the chatting or messaging platforms like Slack, FB Messenger, or WhatsApp, Instagram, or Snapchat, or WeChat. So this is another indication that why organizations are going into the chatbot. Now, our next topic of the chat from the chatbot overall basics or understanding or is how the natural language processing, because it's a key part of. So natural language processing is a field of computer science, artificial intelligence, and computational linguistics concerned with the interactions between computers and human natural languages, and in particular concerned with programming computers to fruitfully process large natural language corpora. So that's the standard definition which I got from the Wikipedia. So this NLP, natural language processing, is divided into 5 steps. Again, this information is from www.icapps.com, the linguistic behind the chatbot. So the NLPs consist of, they mentioned it's into 5 steps. The first step is a lexical analysis. The lexicon of a language is, simply put, a collection of words and phrases in a language. As a first step, the computer will thus analyze the text and divide into paragraphs, sentences, and words. Like the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So it's examples of a lexical analysis into sentences and words. On step 2, the second step is syntactic analysis, where the computer analyzes the grammatical rule of each word in a sentence and identifies the relationship between each word. This is something you probably learned in school. What is the subject of that sentence, or is there a predicate? So, for example, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox is a subject, jumps is a verb, and then over the lazy dog is adjunct, and then jumps over the lazy dog is predicate. So that's all syntactic analysis. On the step 3, the semantic analysis. The computer checks the meaning of the words so that means looking up to the meaning of the words as stated in the dictionary. Words can have several meanings, so the computer also need to map this with the syntactic structures analyzed. So that's the examples of a third step. It's a semantic analysis. And then fourth step is discourse integration, which means looking at the meaning of a sentence compared to the sentence that comes before it. Or we can assume that there is a cohesion between the different sentences in a text. So NLP must also take this into account. Like the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, he jumps over very high. So that's the discourse integration as a fourth step. As a fifth step, finally, there is a pragmatic analysis, which is also the most difficult step for a computer. The pragmatic analysis involves reinterpreting that what is said as what was actually meant. This involves taking knowledge from the real world into account, because as humans, what we say is not always what we mean. Take, for example, the sentence, there's a Coke in the fridge. If you say this to guests entering your house, you are not simply describing the contents of your fridge, you are actually offering them a drink of a offering them a Coke. This ambiguity is hard for computer to handle. So this is a example of pragmatic analysis. So these are the 5 steps where NLP consists or works on. So first is lexical analysis, syntactic analysis, semantic analysis, discourse integration, and fifth is pragmatic analysis. Now we will move from the natural NLP, natural language processing, to machine learning, because machine learning is the backbone of chatbot, which makes bots smarter. So we can say machine learning can be defined as an algorithm of making systems learn by using observations or past experience. Instead of hard coding large sets of rules, natural language processing can rely on machine learning to automatically learn these rules by analyzing a corpus A corpus can be a book, news, articles, reports, or even conversations. So if a bot contains algorithms for machine learning, it becomes smarter the more people talk to it. The more conversation, the more chat it will have with the consumers, with the people, it will get more basically training based on the machine learning. So that's the combination of NLP, which will rely on ML, the machine learning. And then within the machine learning, for example, if you're asking, like, can you please book me a flight to London? It's intent, and then it goes into context is book flight, parameter 2, entity type is London, location. So it's basically from machine learning and an NLP point of view, it will understand, okay, to from where you're based. But so that's it. Context, book flight, intent. And then if you're passing the parameters like a to date and return date, and it's taking the information from machine learning that yes, to date is today, or based on the input we're providing, and then exact action it will take to book the flight. So that's our short understanding or short brief on the basics of chatbots. Now, to just before summarizing on the chatbot, I know it's a short session, but it gives you an overview how chatbot works. But I have another one analysis from the Gartner, which says the rise of the chatbot economy, where the very famous Gartner hype cycle put basically machine learning and natural language question answering is also as a part of Gartner hype cycle for emerging technologies 2016. So we can see that's the reality now, becoming a lot of organizations started using the chatbots. And even the Gartner predicts that artificial intelligence will amount for 85% of customer relationships by 2020. And it is going to come. Similarly, a McKinsey survey from 2015 estimated that digital core channels like web chat, social media, and email accounted for 30% of customer care interactions, and that by 2020 it is expected to grow to 48%. And even McKinsey also put their own, in the future, customer care organization will balance personal interaction with automation. So they put their own map on that. So to summarize, as a chatbot, we name it the virtual customer service assistant, which we are going to interact on banks, on flights, on a lot of customer services primarily. And there's another study that in 2016, many retailers experimenting with their own virtual chatbots, and in total, 34,000 different chatbots have emerged only in 2016. And chatbots powered by a combination of machine learning, natural language processing, and live operators can provide customer service, sales support, and make suggestions what to buy at much greater level of detail than ever before. So this is now for us to understand what are the companies who are providing chatbot, what are virtual assistants, how they're working. So those will be our I think next topics to understand and to get ready with the new service, even as a consumer and as an IT guy, that how the chatbot virtual assistants are going to work. So I in this session, I covered the basics of that. Okay, what was the history of chatbot, how the different types of chatbots, then how the chatbot works, why these are required, what are the industry analysis are saying, and then details on the NLP, natural language processing, what are the 5 steps, and then artificial intelligence coupled with the machine learning, how these are the 3 backbones of chatbots playing role, and then some market analysis on that the chatbots are now reality, and it's a larger part of the companies which they're investing on it to bring it into customer service. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you will enjoy it, and do share your comments with me. This session will be available on www.otechtalks.tv/session 28. And feel free to join us on Facebook, on Twitter, and be part of this Open Tech Talk community. It's all just to share knowledge, learning with you, and learn from each other. I'm strongest believer of social learning, and please, you are most welcome to share your feedback. And thank you so much once again.
Thanks for listening to the O Tech Talks podcast, and be part of Tech Talks at otechtalks.tv. It's a turf to share ideas, insights, and innovations.